Hop into your Bronco, hold on to your pancakes, and take a drive with us as we return to Haven. This is Troubled, your favorite rewatch podcast dedicated to the Sci-Fi Channel show Haven. Based on the Stephen King novella, The Colorado Kid, I'm your first host in our father-son podcast, Alex French.
And I'm Rich French, the patriarch of the French family.
We're coming at you with episode 6, titled Fur, of season 1. All right, real quick, as always, we like to summarize kind of the episode for like 10 minutes just to kind of get anyone who isn't watching currently up to speed. So when we're talking, you don't know, like, what the fuck's he talking about? Us, like, oh, what's this wolf? Or,
Stop it.
Yeah. So we'll start that here right now. So the episode kind of starts. A guy named TR gets attacked in his car, right? He's kind of getting his car in a... do we know what animal it is? Do we get to see, or is it just like a beast is attacking?
It kind of looks like a wolf, and it's in the parking lot at the Haven Hunt Club.
Yeah, it gets in there. It breaks through the back window and massacres him. Big horror scene. Lots of blood. And then we kind of move into Audrey, right? That's our kind of little hook or little open. Then we move to Audrey in town, right, buying pastries. She's parked in a parking spot that you're not supposed to park into, but only people who are from the town would know that. Eleanor gives her some shit about it, and also gives her shit about her pastry choice, right?
Right. Larissa's is nowhere near as good as Rosemary's.
Then she goes to, has an investigation to go do, so she meets up with Nathan to go check out this body for this guy named TR, and they're kind of just treating it like a wild wolf attack. Except, our main guys know that something's up, because how does a wolf break through the back window of a car? This sounds more like a trouble, right? But the Chief Warnos, Nathan's dad, isn't having any of it. He's like, get this solved, blah, 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 blah. And he wants to go on the hunt for the wolf, but they managed to kind of negotiate 24 hours to figure this out, right?
Right, exactly.
And so who does Audrey go talk to at the country club first?
So Audrey, she talks first to some guy in there who kind of points her towards Landon, because Landon was shooting buddies with TR and Brad Donnelly, who all three of them happen to be friends of Chief.
Yeah. And
so Audrey goes out there, Landon's shooting skeet, and she takes over the shotgun, challenges him, and then takes him to school. And
whoops his ass
to the point where Landon even says he was schooled. And he answers her questions that Brad and TR almost shot him last week in the woods. Audrey's like, was that for, was Brad trying to shoot TR? And Landon's like, I really don't know. I don't know what they were fighting over. And that's how they get, how they keep going with the investigation.
Right. So... kind of next, we have a little scene with Vince and Dave. They just talk about that they should look into Jess Minion or Donnelly's wife. Then we kind of cut to Donnelly in his garage working on drinking some beer. He's a big tough man, hunter guy. And another animal breaks through the window and fucking massacres him in the garage. So Audrey and Nathan look into that. They talk to the wife, who points them at this woman named Jess Minion, just like Vince and Dave did, which everybody's saying she's a witch in town. So they get there and
an animal rights activist.
Yeah, animal rights activist, but small town, a witch. So what do they kind of talk about there?
Well, one thing they established why Jess is there, because Jess was summer there when she was a kid, because her grandma owned it, but then her grandma died, and now she's the owner. And she's come back, and she's concerned about all the hunting going on. And hunters are mad at her because she has 90 acres and won't allow them to hunt there. And their property runs right up to the hunt club. She also goes on about this hieroglyph that's been appearing at the scenes, and just says it means forgiveness, and she guesses the animals didn't forgive them. So that was After that, they're kind of like we're kind of back to square one.
Yeah. She also kind of gives Nathan a little pep talk that his trouble isn't a curse, but it's a blessing, and that he's a special guy. So she's clearly, into some mystical stuff, which
right.
Not necessarily,
She says it's magic, and
right.
Magic in the soil, in the air, in Haven, and that he's special for that.
Right. So 24 hours is up, though. So the Chief is going to go hunt this fucking wolf. He's a big badass, and he's got the hunting party together. When Landon, the guy who got schooled by Audrey at the shotgun contest, his mom comes in and is like, oh, I don't want you to go, and brings his son to kind of guilt him. So he decides not to go. Chief, Audrey, Nathan, and Dave of Vincent Dave, because Dave's a big hunter, they go out to find this wolf when they get attacked by a gigantic moose. Nathan manages to save his dad, who's totally unfucking grateful. As they shoot the moose apart, they find that it's stuffed.
Dave also was minorly injured, in abrasions, right, on his head.
Yeah, so figuring this must be like some kind of magical thing, they go to talk to Jess again. But Jess is like, I have nothing to do with this. I'm not actually magic. I'm just, I'm kind of into that shit, but I'm not actually magic. They find out that these animals are actually like stuffed. They figure out the wolf. So they found that wolf that stuffed, that attacked TR, stuffed with bloody rags. They figured that out. They figured out the same person has taxidermied all these animals, so it must be the same person, right? But meanwhile, they know Dave took out a bear, right? So a bear's coming for Dave. So they try to get to Vince and Dave, but the bear's in mid-attack, right?
Right. Vince and Dave are holed up in their basement, kind of like those country houses where you have like the cellar doors and you go down to that basement. They're down there locked in, and the bear's just going ape shit. And Audrey and Nathan arrive, and they try shooting it with their handguns, but that's not gonna. They needed shotguns to take down, and a lot of rounds to take down the moose. So Audrey gets the idea, let's burn this bastard. And sure enough, they burned the bear, and that's when they save Dave and Vince, and then Dave recognizes the tag of the taxidermist. That's Landon's tag. So now they're off to see Landon.
They go to his laundromat / taxidermy shop. Try to talk to him, but he's kind of like, what the fuck's going on? And his mom comes in freaking out, being like, leave my son alone, get away from him. And she pulls out a box cutter. There's a scuffle, and she accidentally cuts Landon's arm, and sand and shit starts spilling out of his arm.
Sand coming out of his arm.
So it looks like he's taxidermied. He freaks out, goes running away. The mom freaks out, or the mom tells him the truth, right? That there was an accident, a year ago or some shit, and he almost died in a fire.
They tell Landon, Nathan tells Landon, your animals are coming back to life and killing the people who killed them. So Landon feels it's his responsibility to go kill them all. So he freaks out and runs out to go kill them all. Then the three, Audrey, Nathan, and his mom, Piper, they all jump into the Bronco and head to the Haven Hunt Club. And during the ride over the Bronco, Piper comes clean. She says, yes, I found Landon and his wife had died in a fire. She was burnt too far to bring back, but Landon had just asphyxiated, so she brought him back. And she says she was triggered when he almost got shot last week, and that's when this stuff started. And that's when they get to Haven Hunt Club.
So the mom, they managed to kind of pull Landon away from the room because he's going to go try to kill all the animals. But the mom locks herself in and lets the animals massacre her, totally fucking kill her. We'll find out at the very end that she was also stuffed, right? That it's been a long lineage of family stuffing. But, Landon's pretty torn up about his mom sacrificing herself. He's questioning if he's even human. And that's where Nathan kind of talks him down off the ledge and says, hey, this is tough, but it makes you a really strong person.
Right. And it's interesting. Do you have to make such a big gash in your hand to prove it?
I know. So yeah, Nathan takes a box cutter or knife, whatever, to his hand to prove a point that he's also maybe not a real boy. And it's a bit dramatic.
But Nathan does, show Landon that he's got an important role as a father, and he needs to live for his son. And Landon looks relieved, and and I think Nathan feels better for having done it. But Nathan's not done yet, though, because now Nathan drives back up to see Jess. Definitely feels the connection there. Said he wanted to apologize for her, but we know he was just going there to really say, "Hey, wait, what's up?" And he asks her if she wants to get some pancakes, and she definitely would like to have breakfast with him, but she doesn't like pancakes, which we'll talk about later.
Fucking sin. And then to kind of cap off the story, Eleanor comes in, talks about how she was giving Audrey shit at the beginning of the episode, tells her that she's starting to fit in and everything, that she promises to help Audrey investigate Lucy, aka Audrey's mother. And that's kind of where we end. Right,
because Audrey is no longer summer people. She's there for good.
Right. So that's kind of it. What did you? Let's talk about. Let's give a little quick rating. What'd you think of the episode?
Well, it's tough because one thing as I go through my process is that I watch it the first time just by itself. I don't take no notes or anything, and I probably would have rated it, on the 10-point scale, I probably would have rated it a 7. But then after I go back and I watch it and I write detailed notes, and if you ever go on the site and you check them out, you see I get fucking detailed. I mean, really detailed. So I think that makes me notice things that I find inconsistent. So it probably dropped my score down to a 6. And I rate it that way because there's so many important things that come out, things that I think are really important for the story that come out of it. We get flapjacks. So, I mean, I almost gave it an extra point just for having, the mother flipping flapjacks back. So,
and that had been quite a while.
I'm at a 6, but I could probably be 6.5.
Yeah, it had been quite a while since we had gotten pancakes mentioned. Yeah, so I'd probably give it a 7. I thought the taxidermy animals coming back to life was really fun. Obviously, the CG wasn't too good. How did it bother you? Did it kind of take you out of it?
Yeah, I was not feeling the CG. I mean, I thought, and Jim Dunn even said in the commentary, well, these are supposed to be fake animals because they're stuffed animals with legs, and that's a fair point.
That's a bullshit point.
But the bear. The bear looked horrible to me, man. I mean, and it's not that the bear, it's just that you could tell the bear wasn't part of the scene, that it was just pasted there. And it just looked super fake. And they were really proud of their digital effects because they were working with a company called Stargate who had done work with Heroes. But I just thought it looked bad. And then it turns out it was a guy in a bear suit actually clawing at the door. And Jim Dunn hopefully said, he even said, we hope people don't realize that it looks like a different bear. But I'm like, I noticed.
Do you think it's the bear suit from the 30 Seconds to Mars music video for The Kill?
I hope so. Because I didn't want to see the bear suit again, especially after what the bear does to himself. So, I mean...
But you have that conspiracy that he's himself in the bear suit giving himself a blowjob while seeing himself from the doorway. I don't know if it's him in the bear suit. I think it might be a different guy in the bear suit giving him a blowjob while he's watching it from the door. It's still, pretty insane.
It's like Inception. There's layers, You're watching yourself blowing yourself. I mean, this is Christopher Nolan. Next movie, boom.
Yeah, is another 30 Seconds to Mars video. Yeah, I thought the moose actually looked okay. The wolf, they kind of kept it moving fast enough so you kind of can't really tell. But the bear was pretty bad. I actually didn't mind it hitting the door. It looked kind of funny. But the initial part where it's at the front of the house was fucking pretty terrible looking. But it was okay. I don't get this excuse that, it's supposed to look fake. Well, sure, it's supposed to look kind of fake, but the movement is what looks... It looks like somebody slapped a sticker on the screen.
Well, and like I said, and Jim Dunn even admits, he's like, on the budget we have, there is only so much we can do. And he's like, we can do a lot of smaller things, but if we want balls out really expensive shit, there's only going to be one or two things that they're going to be able to do. So, and that's why my rating goes back up because, even though it shouldn't, I should just look at artistically, but I start taking into account. You guys are working on a sci-fi network TV budget.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Looked into the pretty interesting job that he had to have because I looked into the director Keith Samples of the episode, and so I'd guess he's used to dealing with some shitty effects. Considering his first TV directing gig was on the anthology series Freddy's Nightmares. Did you watch? So it's the TV show version of a Nightmare on Elm Street, which was kind of trying to do the horror anthology. It seemed like everybody wanted to have Friday the 13th.
That was the one where they're tracking down evil artifacts.
Right, but that's not an anthology series. It didn't Brad Pitt, or was it Freddy's Nightmares that Brad Pitt had a role on? He had in one of these horror anthologies that's kind of shitty.
Oh, yeah, you're thinking like Rod Serling's Night Gallery, which was kind of his follow-up from Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt type stuff. And
Yeah. So Brad Pitt was in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares. It's called Black Tickets in 1989.
I've seen Freddy's Nightmares, and they were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, because I liked some of the Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt. Darkside.
The Darkside. Tales from the Darkside. they have an episode as probably the scariest TV moment next to the first time I saw The Exorcist as a little kid in the late 70s.
Speaking of Tales from the Dark Side, Joe Hill was supposed to write a movie, I think it was a movie originally, then got turned into a TV show adaptation of Tales from the Dark Side, and then it all got scrapped, so he turned it into a comic book, which I have and read. It was okay. Not my favorite, but I feel like, it's hard because he's converting it for like the third time into a new medium. But back to Keith Sample, so that was his first gig, was Freddy's Nightmares. I'm sure he had to deal with some bullshit effects on screen with that. He's like, this bears nothing, trust me. But then funny is he then kind of was directing, just, doing the rounds on teeny romance drama shows like Roswell, Everwood, Party of Five, Dawson's Creek, The OC, etc. And then he did 3 episodes of Oz. Like, what a turn to be like, oh, okay, Keith Vanderbeek, look, you're a little sad, to then go to Oz to like, hey, fucking stab him or rape him or say something racist.
Yeah, let's have James Vanderbeek be raped by the biggest, by the Nazis in prison. Yeah, that is quite a leap. Quite a leap.
A Dawson's Creek Oz crossover episode where the characters, they, got to scare them straight. They take him to the prison to scare him. Where does Oz take place? Where's that prison? I never watched it.
I mean, I forgot exactly where.
What region? Is it like South or
New York?
West? New York? Oh, okay.
New York, yeah.
Where are they in Dawson's Creek?
They're probably Rikers, probably something like Rikers. And
we get no Duke this episode, but the chief kind of comes back. He hasn't been around since episode 2, I think, since he kind of promised Audrey to help investigate. We get a lot of people promising to help Audrey investigate, but we haven't. The fucking only guy that's given her information is the gardener. The gardener with brain damage. Yeah. He's the only one that's given her relevant information, but the chief and Eleanor were like, oh, we'll help you. So we get the chief back.
Flowers.
Yeah. We got the chief back, no Duke. And that was fine. I was good with a break from Duke. I think we got some like Duke heavy episodes the last 2. So there's a nice little.
And Chief's role is going to be usually, he's not a main player, even though in the Haven universe, he's a fucking huge player. But, for the show, he's not, he's going to be in and out.
I was like, is the chief a player? Does he get around town? Like that guy with the mole on his face last episode? Do you think the chief's hooking up with the tourists?
Yeah, that's, what was that? Joe Campbell. Yeah. Joe Campbell, international playboy in Nova Scotia.
Well, we know the chief could probably, I don't know if the bed's shaking in the chief's house is from whatever he's doing with his guests. It might be from something else. It
might be from something else that's coming up that we haven't got to yet.
Anyway, that's a teaser, folks. Take note, Haven writers.
Yeah. So I'll tell you why I think the chief, plays a huge role, because it's at the scene where with the moose attack, and he sends Nathan, to go get Dave, who got, like I said, grazed. And it was a pretty good graze on his head, minor but still pretty good. And then Chief tells Audrey, he's like, who do you think's been dealing with this all these years? And then he goes, who do you think's going to have to deal with it when I'm gone? And he's like, you're good at this shit, so I want you to help him learn it. So so right there, you get, boom, Chief has been kind of the main person trying to solve all this shit over all these years. And then another piece comes in, and with the Teagues at the side of the bear attack, and Audrey's like, hey, can you watch how you write this up? And they're like, yeah, we always do that. So it turns out they've been covering up the results of the Troubles. Yeah. We'll say the bear is rabid, that sort of thing.
Crooked journalism.
So that's 2 big staples right there, is that now we know what the previous mechanism is, and it's probably coming time for Nathan to step up into his role. Yeah. And Audrey's there to help him. So that's one of the things I like about that episode, is that those were very big, important things. Another important thing I thought was Nathan, with Jess bringing off that side of Nathan. Jim Dunn even said he kind of wanted to take the gloom off of Nathan, and he just afflicted, feeling like he was just troubled. But Jess comes in and helps him learn that he is special. It's magic, and he starts seeing himself in a different way. And at the end, he gets a chance to help someone else who feels like he used to. And, it's like a weight's been lifted off his chest. And I thought that was cool. I was wanting Nathan to, kind of get a break, get some pancakes and some ass maybe. But
well, it sounds like from the previous episodes, he's been hooking up. He hooks up a lot with a lot of the people in the town. That's where I think he gets it from his dad.
But the Warnos are players, man. They're old school term max. You got it.
Yeah.
If you're lonely, there's a Warnos for you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I really like this episode with Nathan. I absolutely agree. That's why I was like, I like Duke kind of being gone because we can kind of focus on Nathan. I thought his scenes with Jess were maybe a little cheesy, but I really liked it. I really liked someone kind of flattering him. And because Audrey, obviously we love Audrey, but she's a bit
she busts his chops.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, not quite like acidic or mercurial, but like she's not always like, doling out compliments or like making him feel like empowered, I guess. She kind of lets things lie. If he's like, oh yeah, I feel like shit about this. Yeah. She's like, well, okay. Whereas Jess is like,
she
trying to empower him.
Yeah, and Audrey treats him like a cop treats their partner, and busting his balls, teasing him and that. So, then now you got Jess, who's, boy, and Nathan is clearly smitten with her, like almost right immediately. I guess he likes Quebecers. Yeah. So. Funny thing about the whole Quebec thing is that Jim Dunn said they wanted to cast a French actress for this, so they cast it. They did cast Anne. I can't pronounce her name, Caillon or something like that. And she's a fairly famous French actress, and they did that because they wanted to have appeal to the international market, especially in Europe. So I thought that was pretty clever. And the way they do it, hey, we bring this French actress over, but we say she's from Quebec. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, because the show's kind of co-produced, funded, whatever, by 3 companies or groups that kind of are from different countries. So we got an American, Canadian, and European. I don't know if they're French specifically, but European kind of group. Well, we're still on the subject of the Warnos family. I thought it was weird how the chief disappears in the second half of this episode. He's a big deal. He's busting Audrey and Nathan's ass, being like, 24 hours, I'm going to hunt this wolf. And then after he says that to Audrey, he literally disappears. And I know it's, the rest of it's in a day, but he doesn't check in to see how things went. He's just kind of like, whatever, yeah. Fuck it, did it. The wolf attacks are done. All right. Yeah, he's at the pastry shop hunting tourists. Maybe this is a stretch. Maybe he notices that the moose is stuffed with regs, and he's like, "Oh fuck, this is a trouble." So I'm gonna let Audrey and Nathan figure it out. So yeah, maybe. I mean, that's just, and like I said, that's doing work on our end as the viewer. Sure. There. And you kind of brought it to my attention that there were inconsistencies through the episode, other than just the chief disappearing halfway through, like the sigils. We didn't really talk about it in the summary, but we can talk about it here. Tell us about the sigils and kind of where that doesn't go. Right. Well, exactly. So you have a hieroglyph. That's what Jess Minion calls them, and you have it painted on the Haven Hunt Club sign. And then you have the same hieroglyph painted on Brad Donnelly's like fence or some shit, And so basically, wherever there's one of these tacks, there's that hieroglyph, and Just Minion says the hieroglyph means forgiveness, and then Brad's wife, she says the hieroglyph marks us to the animals. But then we never hear about the hieroglyphs again. Are we to assume Jess went out there and painted them? Yeah, she happened to paint them at the places people were murdered, but wasn't in. But we find out, factually has actual no involvement. It's just kind of weird, and then it just gets, like you said, gets dropped, disappears. Well, it's because her alibi was her car was towed in Derry. Yeah, they should go back to that tattoo shop and be like, "Did you make this one too?" And he's like, "Yeah. Is that an ancient design made before my birth? Yeah, I made that one too." Yeah, no, yeah. Anything that looks old, I probably did that. Yeah. Yeah, and then you want to talk about 30. You wanted to talk about Brad's wife, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Brad's wife is drop dead gorgeous, smoking. She's a gold digger. And Brad Donnelly's. Did Brad look like he had a lot of gold to dig? That house didn't look all that fancy. Just because he has a fridge full of Lunenburg India Pale Ale, which is funny. I actually looked it up to see if it was a real beer. and it's not. But it's designed after Alexander Keith's IPA, which is out of Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh,
so and then the other beer, Frascus, is a real beer, but not that particular one. It's a microbrewery up in Northern California. So maybe Ernst and Dunn have, that's one of their favorites, maybe. But there's no way she would have been with Brad Donnelly. I'm sorry. And we really didn't get a good enough T.R. Hope, but he wasn't no stunner either. So I don't know. I didn't buy that. 25 years younger and smoking hot and.
I assumed she was like a gold digger trophy wife, where situation. I thought he was some, maybe his house. Because we didn't really get a sight on the inside, a look on the inside. We only got
really the outside, and the garage didn't look. It looked like a middle class garage. If he was wealthy, it looked a lot different.
But he's part of the Hunt Club. You never know.
Well, how much money is Dave making at the Herald? Okay, so I mean, chief of police, in a small town. It's not a wealth thing with those folks. It's a good old boy snapper.
Yeah, and she knew to get up in life in Haven, she had to, had to kind of get with the guy. It didn't say what Brad's job was, did it? Do we know what Brad did?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let's just say he's.
I knew Landon had a dry cleaning job, but shop, not job.
If I had to guess, I would say he is a world premier hunter. Let's just take a wild guess. He's a world premier hunter, like the Alan Quartermain of Haven, Maine, basically.
It could be. It could be. He has a particular set of skills.
Yeah. Is he an assassin? Is he Liam Neeson?
Yeah. International assassin, and that's how he got the model wife. Yeah.
That's how he's such a good hunter.
But then again, she's moving back to Tallahassee. So she's from Tallahassee. So she moved to Haven for Brad, and I call bullshit. That's all I'm saying. The one that probably bugs me the most is the broken rear windshields in the car. Mm-hmm. A stuffed wolf is not going to be able to break through a windshield. That's and all of a sudden they never answer that question, but they just drop it too.
Yeah,
because there's no way a stuffed wolf is going through a rear windshield. It's just that's too thick. The moose, okay, the moose was big enough.
The antlers are strong enough. Maybe the moose helped
the bear. Dave's the one who shot the bear. Yeah, I guess the moose gave him a boost, and maybe the bear came over and smashed it.
And another kind of weird thing about this episode is, are we just saying Lucy is definitively? Eleanor just talks about Lucy definitively being Audrey's mom, like it's a known fact. And that was just super weird.
Yeah, didn't she even say it like in that first scene where she's writing on the windshield? Yeah, I mean, when did that happen? Because it's like it's always been that could be your mom,
Yeah, and, we don't know, and now it is.
Now it's definitive, and we don't know what made it change from maybe to definitive. So kind of been like that aspect.
And you were saying you thought maybe it was some more episode shuffling, but that doesn't seem to be the case, right?
According to the commentary, they did not do any episode shuffling with this one. So it's just kind of like I said, it's just another one of those kind of inconsistencies. I mean, and I think it's reasonable to make the leap to say that, Lucy's her mother. But the way Eleanor says it, she either knows something or it's inconsistent writing. Right, exactly. It looks like it's inconsistent writing or she knows something. So I can't rule it out because I don't remember. It's been 10 years since I watched it. What was the name of, so Rosemary's was a good pastry shop. What was the bad one? Larissa's? How does a pastry shop that it seems everybody in town hates, how do you think they stay in operation? I think that was my bit. One of the comedic questions I had to myself was, how are they still in business? Is it just tourists? Is it people like Audrey that fall for it? The summer people, yeah. So she probably gets no business in outside of summer season, and she probably has to get a real job during the fall and winter. And but yeah, everyone in town knows their shit. So it's probably where the guy you said his name earlier, but I already forgot it. The guy with the mullets, where he was picking up people.
like all the summer folk.
Joe Campbell?
Yeah, Joe Campbell's hanging out at Larissa's, picking up anyone falling for that shitty pastries.
Yeah, Larissa's. Even Dave and Vince say it's too dry. But that's one of the key points was, I think, that emphasizing that Audrey has to become a local. And these are things that all locals know. So, and it's kind of at the point at the end, she's learned her lesson, and now she's a local. So, but yeah, I thought it was kind of Kingish, that something King would do, that he would have he would like have this recurring theme about this pastry, just because he goes so far into the character development and such. So that's why I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of funny, and because this one, we didn't have as many good one-liners in this one as we had in some of the other ones. Like we had that one where Audrey and Nathan first go into the trophy room at the hunt club, and Audrey quips, "Taste the final frontier," which is pretty funny because I find stuffed animals gross and creepy, and
I did want the owls to come alive, though. I was disappointed we didn't get some crazy stuffed owls flying around. Like I would have loved it if, the Stargate's like, yeah, we can't do that. That's gonna look weird. So they're like, all right, just put them on strings and have them fucking knock them around the room. I'd have loved that. Some the birds action, or maybe you fucking just release live owls into the room and see what they do.
Are you doing a Prince video?
Yeah, I thought one joke that I thought was pretty funny that got me. This is a dumb one, but I liked it. Was the Vince gets all excited, he's like, "Oh, well, that's interesting," or what does he say? Like, "Oh, that's exciting." And Dave's like, he says that, and the waitress is asking him if he wants pepper on his salad. I thought that was that one got me.
Yeah, Dave usually gets the one-liners of the two. For, whatever reason. Just the way they play Vince. Vince is the more thoughtful one, and obviously, since Vince doesn't hunt, he doesn't kill. He loves all animals, great and small, as Dave said, and Dave's a hunter. Would you find that odd? Two brothers, one's a hunter. Usually, that's something that's passed down from through the family. You would think they both would be hunters, or both neither.
Well, they don't have much in common sometimes. This episode, real quick, was dedicated to Steve. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this name. Fleury. I'm not sure how to say it. I looked him up. He was a Canadian scene painter. It doesn't look like he worked on Haven, but knowing that, they're in Canada, a lot of the crew are in Canada, they probably were friends with him. I don't know if it was mentioned in the commentary. I wasn't able to watch this week. But I looked him up. Last movie he did was one called Outlander. It's a Jim Caviezel movie where he is like a fucking alien that comes to Earth and leads the Vikings with future technology to conquer something or whatever. It sounds absolutely crazy.
I absolutely liked it. I liked it a lot.
You've seen Outlander?
I have.
What?
It stars Caviezel.
Oh my goodness! I didn't think you'd seen it.
Yeah, if it stars Caviezel, I'm all about it.
Do we think Jess's grandmother was a real witch? Because we know in the intro we have the witches, no, we don't. I think I mistook the Native Americans for witches. I guess someone would have tried witch doctor back in the day, but that's not the same thing. Do we think there's witchcraft going on in Haven?
There could be at some point, being that it's Maine, and we're not too far away from Salem. Where
Flag was doing some witch trials.
And in the Haven Herald, they have from 1770 something. It's in my old notes from the montage show, because the montage is important. This pretty much the great bulk of this story was in the montage. So it was
like the wolf, right?
Yeah. They kept having the Haven Herald articles were keep repeating parts of the story of the wolf and hunting the wolf, and even had the names T.R. Dunn, Brad Donnelly, and even Chief Warnell's approving the bounty. Though they really had it. They really wrote that snippet pointing it as werewolf. Really pointing it as werewolf. Because there's a part of it where Brad's wife is like, "Oh, I hope they, something about, they understand the wolf that they're going to try to kill."
Well, in the episode, they kind of are thinking it's a werewolf, or at least they're trying to lead on the audience that's a werewolf for a while, because they're like, "Oh, silver bullets and full moon jokes," and then we realize it's what do we call it? A reanimator or something?
Yeah,
I don't know what we call
Bride of the Reanimator.
Yeah,
some good stuff from back in the day. And a lot of folks don't remember the old B movies of the 80s and 90s, Tromaville, Puppet Master.
Trauma. We're experts. Yeah, I think Jess has got to watch out. She might get in a town like this if she gets on Nathan's bad side, I think he could get her burned at the stake for not liking pancakes. So she better watch out.
Yeah, but if you're going to be a witch, and which she's not. She's not a witch. But if he don't like pancakes, and it's time to get the step in, he can just say she's a witch because her grandmother was, and
she better like waffles.
Yeah. Did we mention was mention of pancakes again? Mother trucking flapjacks are back. I know I've mentioned it, but we've missed pancakes for so long. It felt like Haven and Nathan were leaving us hanging.
That's what sealed this episode. It was at a 4 before he said that for me. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's pretty much. Did you have any other notes about the episode?
I think we covered everything good. Excuse me, that's my writing shorthand for Audrey Parker. So Audrey becomes a local by the end, and Nathan realizes he's not this afflicted monster. He can still be special, maybe even magical. So that was kind of the really cool things about it. Cool. And it establishes Doc Eleanor's going to, and I keep calling her Doc, but I guess she's an EMT. But so Eleanor is kind of cemented as a mentor to Audrey now. So
and teach her about tennis, upper tennis game.
My God, yeah. Ray Charles could teach you better tennis, and he's blind and dead. So rest in peace, Ray.
All right, cool. So that sounds like it's it, right?
I think that's all we need to cover. It was a good episode, like I said. Yeah. The commentary, I liked it at the beginning. I lost it with my detail, and then commentary helped me tie up some things and be like, maybe I'm being too critical and all of that. Cool. Go with my original. So good episode.
Nice. So we're going to move into another segment. We like to do a little segment. The past couple episodes, we kind of might not have had one, but we're kind of bringing it back. We are going to do a fantasy draft of casting the characters of Haven. So I guess of all the pool of all available actors of all time, and that makes it sound even like it makes my choices sound even worse if we had all time available. But we were casting somebody. Doesn't really matter what time in their career. It didn't have to be 2010. It could be 2020. It could be the 30s, whatever. Although I didn't pick anyone from the 30s.
Fatty Arbuckle, huh? W.C. Fields, Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin for Duke.
Harold Lloyd has another one. Yeah, these. And I only know this stuff because my grandpa sometimes made me watch PBS with him. So
I've had to watch some classic film for. By choice and for school, but
Casablanca. We went and saw the original reels.
I guess that's not. I guess that's old. I guess I think of when I think of it's weird. I think of old. I think of silent films. But I guess Casablanca is pretty old. But it feels like I don't know. It's aged really well. It's aged really gracefully. Some older films you're like ooh, but I think Casablanca is aged. Very, very well, in my opinion.
It's a great story, well acted. I mean, it's fantastic. It's
probably one of my favorites.
One of my favorites as well. I don't know if I've moved past English Patient yet, but it's got more humor than English Patient, which there is very short supply of in English Patient.
We're casting kind of the main characters. I think you got a couple more than I did, so I'll try to improvise and try to throw in somebody for the characters because I think you have some characters that haven't shown up yet, but are major characters. And maybe we'll do another one in the last season. We'll do a different fantasy draft now that we're through everything. But I didn't really want to cast William yet, considering he's not going to show up till season 5 or something.
Yeah, it's a long ways away, but I had to get a couple people in that I had to have some role for. So
yeah, maybe we'll do a redo in season 5 and kind of now that we've had our perspective changed, maybe we'll be like, you know what? Audrey Parker isn't blank. Audrey Parker is such and such. So let's
you're gonna shred my Audrey Parker, man.
I'm gonna shred your I don't know what you're gonna think of mine. Okay, so and if you're listening to this at home, you can make one too. Maybe pause it, make your own so we don't influence your decision. Send it in to us. We'll have all our contact info at the end. We want to hear what you say, and maybe we're a couple episodes ahead of the audience. But in a couple episodes, maybe we'll read someone's response on our next podcast or something, or in a couple podcasts in the future. If, we're stunned.
Send us your ideas. We don't. We're not going to say we're experts on this. I mean,
I will.
Some of the shit I'm going to put out there, people are going to be like, "You're insane."
Okay. Okay. So let's start. Do we want to start at Audrey, or do we want to start at the end? Or do we want to build up to Audrey, or do we want to start at Audrey?
Start with Audrey.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Who wants to go first? Do you want to say yours, or do you want me to say mine first?
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
Sarah Silverman.
You chose Sarah Silverman as Audrey.
I think that'd be fun, man.
Are you casting this as like a comedy now?
I'm not really thinking about the integrity of the show. I'm thinking about people I enjoy, and I think she would be really, really fucking funny in that role.
Sarah Silverman's what, 40? How old is she now?
She's a year older than me. She's 49.
Wow,
So,
I didn't realize she was that old.
But 10 years ago she was 39, and she's always been younger looking than her age. So she probably could have pulled off 30.
Well, we
10 years ago.
We can cast 30-year-old Sarah Silverman. We have the time machine, the casting time machine, Well, I'm gonna make a joke that I'm not gonna make. We have the casting time machine.
Because we're not doing hot tub, because I'm not jumping in a hot tub with you. That's just too fucking weird. Yeah, no.
Okay, my Audrey Parker. I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. I chose Emma Roberts.
I like Emma Roberts.
She's 29 now. I think she's got. So we'll cast future her in 1 year as a 30-year-old. I think she's kind of got she's got a bit of attitude.
She's got a lot of attitude.
Oh, yeah, if you're Evan Peters, she's got some attitude. I think Emma's got the attitude for it. She can be funny, but serious. She can pull off the drama and the comedy. Because I like Sarah Silverman can pull off the comedy chops of Audrey, because she needs to be a bit funny, a bit of a smart ass. But I don't know if Sarah can pull off the kind of dramatic moments that Audrey needs to have. So I went with Emma.
No, I think that's a fair choice. I mean, she's a little. I don't think she pulls off Sunny all that well, but she's. And by the way, big fan. American Horror Story is one of my. There's better seasons than others, but overall, I really liked. I liked the. Coven was the best, and
do you think Coven was the best?
I like Coven. I like Coven. Asylum's good. It's very good. It's and you didn't even do Apocalypse, and Apocalypse was. I don't want to give much away about it. Okay, so I'm a fan.
All right. So are we gonna tally? Are we gonna say who's got better choices? I think we should. I think we should have like a point system. So we'll see. Who wins a point off of who has a better choice.
Okay. Well, in certain instances, it's not just one person. So like when you're casting the Teagues,
Yeah, the Teagues are two. Well, okay, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, I'll give you the edge on Audrey.
Yeah, I think I got the point on that one. But I feel like your Nathan will be better than mine.
Yeah, we'll see about that. The listeners, listeners could give us a score as well.
Yeah, we'll see whose cast they would like.
Tweet at us, with your score and all of that. Besides, and your ideas. So
yeah, I was like, and if you care enough, Photoshop our cast together, and see how preposterous it looks. All right. So who do you got for Nathan? Or do you want me to go first since you went first?
You go first this time.
Okay. My choice is pretty. I swear this had nothing to do with what we talked about, but I'm glad we did. Is because I was thinking Jim Caviezel for Nathan.
Oh my God!
Did you pick him?
I got Jim Caviezel for Nathan.
Man.
Oh my God!
I kind of had a feeling too when we were talking. I was like, man, I feel like he's gonna pick Jim Caviezel.
I didn't originally. I changed it to him.
Who was your original choice?
He's my Duke.
Oh, so we'll save him. Yeah,
but yeah, Caviezel, and so I guess you
that's a tie.
Acorn doesn't fall far from the tree, huh?
I was like, he's pretty stoic. He's a moody guy.
I think he would be perfect for it, actually.
Yeah, with younger, I guess. Well, how old?
Yeah, now
is he like 50?
Yeah. Like he's in his 50s. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a 30-year-old Jim Caviezel, like maybe a Passion of the Christ Caviezel.
Jesus.
There's a lot of metaphors.
Jesus.
Okay, so no points awarded either way. So that's a split.
But I applaud you on your choice.
I was like, is it weird? I was like, is it? Because then I was like imagining Emma Roberts and Jim Caviezel in a like love triangle. I was like, I don't know about this. He's my kind of out of time. He's the one that I was like, okay, we need to make him a younger version. But okay. Let's move on to Duke.
Okay, so my former Nathan and my present Duke is Clive Owen.
Clive Owen for Duke. Yeah.
I think he can do it. He's got the full range. And once again, I'm picking favorites of me. So I'll admit it. It's me picking favorites. But Clive Owen's great in anything. He can do comedy. He's done it when he needs to be.
Is he like
he can be a bad boy.
Is he like sexy guy though? Like, I feel like
he's not as sexy as Eric Balfour. He doesn't have. He's had cologne campaigns before, but he doesn't probably have one right now. But in his day,
he's got a smoldering gaze, not glaze, a smoldering gaze.
Was it Blue Steel or?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's as ruggedly, as handsome as Eric Balfour.
He's not as pretty as Eric Balfour, but come on.
Fair enough.
He's handsome and he's worldly, right? You would expect Clive to speak a bunch of languages, right? And,
we got to put him in the time travel.
We'll
call it the time travel boat. We'll make it the Duke ship.
The Duke ship.
The time traveling ship. We got to put him in that and get a kind of younger Clive Owen than what he looks like today.
So
maybe like Sin City Clive.
Clive Owen's badass there. See, I'm telling you. Well, I don't want him animated, but
okay. Well, all right. So here's mine. I don't know if you've even heard of this guy, because he's on a show that I doubt you've ever watched. His name is Charles Melton. You might want to look him up. Might want to do a Google search on him. He plays Reggie in Riverdale, so he's the asshole bully in Riverdale. But he's a very, very good-looking guy, and he can kind of pull off that smart-ass, smarmy kind of shit talking you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I'm sorry.
You haven't seen him act though, so
yeah, I haven't seen him act, so it's not.
I feel like he's Duke light. I feel like he's kind of in that vein of characters, right? That kind of Ryan Reynolds-y box of like, isn't it cool how much of like a fucking smartass he is?
Yeah, I'm a douche. Yeah, embrace me. Yeah. So I really can't really vote on that. I just I haven't seen him act because I don't watch Riverdale, and I just know Clive Owen's awesome, dude. And he could pull it.
All right, I'll give you Clive Owen. I'll give you Clive Owen since you haven't seen Charles Melton. I'll give you, and Clive Owen's more well-rounded. I don't know if he's as boyish, but I'll give him to you. Okay, so let's move on to Vince. So we're 1-1. We're 1-1. Who do you got for Vince and Dave?
Okay, because they go hand in hand. So,
sure. Let's start with Vince.
Okay, so you're going to like this. Joe Morton is Vince.
Joe Morton.
Joe Morton is from Eureka.
Is he Henry?
Henry from Eureka.
Okay.
It's Joe Morton. And he was also
he's a Terminator minister too.
And Joe Morton. It's the Sci-Fi Network. I love Joe Morton. I think he's great. So I got him as Vince. But now when I come to Dave, and this is where it gets really interesting, Dave Attell.
You picked Dave Attell for Dave?
And they're still brothers. The mystery, which one was adopted? Which one? You get to the end, maybe they were both adopted by the Teagues. Yeah, so
so you're going for twins,
brothers.
Right? You're going for Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito level of brothers.
I was not going for twins because that was one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in my life. And I watched people walk out of the theater when I went and saw it, and I'm a diehard. I paid the money. I'm sitting through it, and I'm just going to power through. I think probably snook a beer in with me, but how funny would all that interaction with them be? And then them always going around telling people they're brothers. And I just think it'd be hilarious.
I don't know. I don't think Dave Attell could pull off the I don't think he can.
He'd have a problem with the language. I mean, not with, the lack of profanity.
Well, just him exasperating everything. He's just going to be like, oh, yeah. He's just, sounds like he's fucking wasted the whole time. I'm not going to quote any Dave Attell anywhere anyone in public can hear. But
it's. I think it would be great, and I think he could do it. He's.
I don't think I want him offering anyone a Jolly Rancher. But anyway,
he likes parrots.
I'll give you. We'll do my Vince and Dave. We'll see who wins. I think you'll like my Vince and Dave. I think you like these actors a lot. So my cast is so unreasonable. There's no way they could get these people. I guess we can't get time traveling Clive Owen either.
Well, and you think Dave Attell?
He's easily acquirable. Who's hiring Dave Attell?
Yeah, but would any producers allow me to cast him? No.
Okay, so for my Vince, I chose Michael Shannon.
Okay.
His comedic chops, I think they could be. Oh, did you see Knives Out?
I haven't yet. No,
he's pretty funny in Knives Out, actually. They kind of play how serious he says certain things. Like he has one line where somebody tells him to eat shit or something, and he very seriously is like, "I will not eat one iota of shit." Like he takes the statement completely seriously, and it's really funny. And then
I like Michael Shannon, so but.
I want him to be the tall man in a Phantasm reboot, but I also don't want anyone to reboot Phantasm because I want to do it. But anyway.
One of the greatest films of all time. Anyone who tells you differently doesn't know shit.
And I don't know if it's one of the greatest of all time, but I like it a lot. I'm really scared. J.J. Abrams has an eye for Phantasm. I don't want him to work on it because I don't think he would do it well. Anyway, for Dave, I picked... let's see if you recognize his name. You'll know the actor. It's Enrico Colantani. He was Elias in Person of Interest. Or, as I know him, he's Keith Mars and Veronica Mars.
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
One of the main villains.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually done a good amount of comedy.
Yeah. He's in Veronica Mars. He does a good job of balancing very serious moments and comedy, and I think he could deliver the dry lines that Dave does. And I just like him because I really like the first 2 seasons of Veronica Mars, and the movie's good. Third season's okay. The Hulu show fucking sucked. And then I really like Person of Interest, even though I haven't finished that either. I didn't finish the last season of Person of Interest.
He's good in Person of Interest, and and he even does some humor in Person of Interest, even though he's a pretty dark character.
Yeah.
So now things are coming together for listeners. They're like Jim Caviezel, Person of Interest.
When does Michael Emerson come in? I didn't cast him, I swear.
I thought about him.
I did think about him, and I was like, I can't go for like the grand slam of.
Okay, so when we come to ranking Teagues here. I obviously like mine better because I think it would be fucking hilarious. But I don't think it's even realistically possible. I mean,
just try to watch the scenes in your head of those characters. Like, I don't want to watch Dave Attell in the like dress scene because he.
That would be amazing.
No.
My God. Yeah.
Because I think Michael Shannon and Enrico Colantani are a higher caliber of.
Actors, sure. Dave Attell's not really primarily known as an actor, but I think he could do it. I do. It's just I have to give you the points because it's implausible, but that's what I want to see. But I would give you the points.
I could see Joe Morton working. I can't see Dave Attell working. So for that, I think I would have to. I can't concede the point. So.
Well, we agree they got to go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not 2 points, just 1 point. So I'm up 2-1 on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's move on to the Chief, I think. Or I think the Chief would be. Yeah, let's do the Chief.
Okay.
All right. You went first, so I'll go first at the Chief. I did have time with this one. To take in a different show we like, I chose Ian McShane.
Oh. No, once again, it's kind of unfair, listeners, that we are father and son, so we know quite a bit about each other. And I am a gigantic Ian McShane fan. I've even watched.
You love him from Death Race, right? Death Race, the Jason Statham movie. That was your favorite.
Oh,
that's where you learned to like him, right?
it was a gripping tour de force. I mean, I left the living room because it went straight to video. I left the living room a different man. I felt I have.
I think Death Race was in theaters, wasn't it? The sequels were direct-to-video. Anyway.
I think it was. But
anyway,
yeah.
We love him from Deadwood. He was also in American Horror Story Asylum.
American Gods.
I haven't watched American Gods or read it yet, but it's always been on the radar.
I really enjoyed it, but I could see it's not for everyone. If you don't get into Neil Gaiman, you wouldn't.
Right. All right. So who did you choose for the Chief?
Christopher fucking Walken.
I thought you were gonna pick him for Vince. I was like, I bet any money he's gonna, because I thought about Walken for Vince, and I was like, he's gonna pick Walken for Vince.
No,
which would have made walking in a tell just fucking insane.
Oh my God. I would pay just to see those guys have a cup of coffee together for an hour. I mean, I would pay to see that. But okay, Christopher Walken, he's quirky. He could be the chief. And then here we go. Musical episode. We all know Christopher Walken loves
There's
sing
no
and dance.
musical episode with the chief, is there?
No, there's not, but there could be if we had them. And I'm telling you, don't downplay the musical episode. Even Oz has a musical episode where J.K. Simmons, basically
Oz is a lot more
Nazi,
artsy. Oz is artsy, though.
It is, but it's got a flat out musical scene where like J.K. Simmons is like dancing and him and I can never remember the other actor's name though. He's awesome. The guy he torments and the guy Christopher Maloney falls in love with and vice versa. Yeah, so it's Oz.
Oh, I don't know about Walken as the chief. If you had picked him as Vince, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know, but as the chief, because he just can't pull off that. Can you pull off the grumpy like guy? Like I don't know. I just can't be like
Christopher Walken can be grumpy. He can do everything. He's got a full range. He's one of the greatest actors of all time. He doesn't get enough respect.
No, he's great. He's great. I just don't know about him as the chief. I don't know. I think Walken can be good for the cast, but maybe not the right role.
He plays soldiers and the Deer Hunter. I'm sure he's played cops and a lot of criminals, but I think he could do it and it would be entertaining.
I mean, what's the peak of his serious acting? Dead Zone. Okay, so I don't know. I think I win the chief. Come on. You gotta admit. Imagine it. You gotta admit. Christopher Walken or Ian McShane. Which one do you think you could see the chief as? You got 24 hours to get this done. Can you imagine Walken saying that or McShane?
I can imagine McShane saying it, but I'd enjoy hearing it more from Walken.
As a novelty, but watching it, I don't know.
Well, and then Chief's not in it that much.
Fair, that's fair.
So that's why it would be just fun little bursts of Christopher Walken's genius in his dramatic pause. And
all right.
And you could do jokes like with like coffee, like hey, forgot your coffee. You're gonna want that coffee. And I don't do a good Walken, I admit.
That's transforming the show, though.
Yeah, a little sight gag here and there.
I think having a tell with Christopher Walken makes the show like a complete. Now we're talking about adding a musical episode, maybe a stand-up episode.
So we're moving to paid cable,
variety show
where we can do R-rated material.
Is what's the dog? What's the puppet dog with the cigar?
Triumph.
I was like, was Triumph gonna be? Is Rev played by Triumph in this version of Haven?
You're just lucky I forgot about Triumph till just now. Otherwise, he would have been on my list. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Who do we?
I'll give it to you.
Okay. Because my next ones I don't think are as strong, and I'm gonna have to wing it on some of the other ones. So let's move on to who do you want to move on to? Eleanor?
Sure.
Let's do Eleanor. Who do you have for Eleanor? This one was tough. I struggled mightily with Eleanor.
I like mine. I think it works. Wanda Sykes.
Oh, that's good.
She's funny. Eleanor's funny. She's got the cool voice.
Your version of Haven is fucking insane with Sarah Silverman, Dave Attell, Christopher Walken, and Wanda Sykes.
That's a small town I could live in. That's a small town I could get behind.
No, but I like Wanda Sykes actually more than my choice. My choice was her name is Michelle Fairley. She played Catelyn Stark on Game of Thrones, the Stark Ned's wife. But I like Wanda Sykes a lot more. I want to go with Wanda Sykes.
Well, the thing is, with Eleanor's got a fun element to her, and I've never seen Caitlin. I'm not saying she can. I can't say she's not funny, but there was nothing funny going on with the Starks on her.
You didn't find the Red Wedding hilarious? No. Yeah. I don't think there's any further discussion. I think Wanda Sykes is the clear winner. We talked a little bit before we started recording about some diversity, and I think that's a good that gets it done. That adds to the diversity of the cast, which I like.
Yeah, well, so far in the season, we've seen two Black Americans.
One of them was compared to LeBron James.
3. That's 3, right? No.
Do we have 3?
3. There was a deputy at the restaurant during Consumed.
Well, Wow.
So,
Yeah.
but he didn't get a speaking part. Well,
Okay.
I guess Jeffrey didn't either get a speaking part.
All right. So Wanda Sykes. So that we're 3-2. I'm up 3-2, but Wanda Sykes is the clear winner. All right. Who do you want to handle next?
You did Rev?
I did Rev.
Okay. So let's do Rev.
All right. Since you went first, I'll go first in this one. I picked Ben Mendelsohn. He is, he's in The Outsider. He's in Place Beyond the Pines. It's like in a tiny role in Dark Knight Rises. I loved him in Mississippi Grind. I think he's in the Australian version of Animal Kingdom. Is that what it's called, right? The TNT show?
Yeah.
The original is a movie, like Joel Edgerton and him. He's in that. He's in just a fuck ton of great things. Usually never is like the main guy, but...
Yeah, I like him. My key thing was Rev had to be a fucking prick.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn can be a prick.
Yeah. Can he be as much of a prick as Jack Nicholson?
Oh my God, Jack Nicholson as the Rev? I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Jack Nicholson could be the Rev.
Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, I am building the most exciting haven ever. This time. Now, could Sci-Fi Network afford Jack Nicholson? No. And
what era of Jack Nicholson? Are we talking like Flew Over or Anger Management Jack?
Well, anger management Jack should not have been made. Sadler should have had his movie making privileges removed.
That's like the equivalent of Jack and Jill era Pacino.
Oh my God! Yeah, but hey, he's into Jill. Pacino's into Jill.
So, how horrible that we actually know the events of that movie.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
I made myself watch it just so I could say it was so bad and how disappointed I am in Adam for that.
Okay, so I think I can give you Jack Nicholson as the Rev.
I think Jack Nicholson could be the Rev. It would add so much entertainment to it.
We talked about before.
Think about As Good as It Gets, Nicholson, or the one with Schmidt. Yeah, it's not his.
I don't think I've seen As Good as It Gets, unless I saw it and I don't remember it.
It's the one with Helen Hunt.
Is it where Keanu's the doctor?
Oh, that might be the one. Okay, so yeah, that one. Yeah, the doctor. Yeah, that's almost better than Fusion. Yeah, he's a physicist. Yeah, no.
Okay,
he's a beautiful man and a wonderful human being, and a favorite of mine as well.
So we talked about before we recorded. I was also threw out a thought was Charlton Heston.
Oh my God, that would
be Clint
amazing.
Eastwood. I feel like I cannot get behind Jack Nicholson, but I'd also understand if we kind of could come to a consensus that maybe Heston or Heston would be better than.
Well, Charlton Heston could be like, get your dirty, damn, troubled hands off me. Yeah, so, that would be great. I can take Heston, but
let's call it a scratch then.
Okay.
Because I don't think I just cannot see Nicholson as the Rev, like drunk on the stairs, being like, I don't know.
I totally could see it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Talking to Sarah Silverman and Jim Caviezel? I don't know.
I think it'd be compelling television. Okay.
Did you cast Jess?
I did not.
Okay. I casted Jess, but I don't think you would know the actress just because I don't know many French actresses. So I picked, her name is, I have no idea how to pronounce the last name, but Adele Haenel. She was in a movie called Portrait of a Lady on Fire this year.
I've heard of that. I didn't see it. But.
I thought she looked the part. She's a good actress. She could do it. But you don't have one on your side, so we'll just kind of move on. What other ones did you cast?
Okay, so I'll just give you who I cast.
Give me their name, and then I'll try to, if I can just improvise real quick, I'll try to throw a name out.
So I did Dwight Hendrickson.
That's Edge, right?
That's Adam Copeland, aka Edge. Yeah. And,
all right, I got my choice for that one. Who'd you pick?
Oh, okay, so this one is serious. It's Colin Ferguson.
What? You can't.
You're
going to cast somebody from the show. You're going to cast somebody who's.
I'm replacing him.
Okay. I pick Triple H.
I like it, but I'm sticking with Colin Ferguson. He because the role he's in, you only get a limited amount. So why not swap him out and get, because once Dwight's on scene, when he joins, he's on till the end. So
actually, I changed my mind. I don't want Triple H. I want I'll go with Hemsworth, the guy who plays Thor.
No, Chris Hemsworth. Yeah,
I'll pick Chris Hemsworth.
The ladies would probably prefer him over Colin Ferguson, but Colin, dude,
just fills out that bulletproof vest so well. You need a big guy.
I just need more Colin Ferguson, and this is one way to get him. So okay, I don't.
Okay, so what? Who else do we got? You got William.
So I've got I got William,
who was played by Colin Ferguson. Everyone.
Yeah, he was played by Colin Ferguson, but that's not enough Colin Ferguson. Yeah, I mean, I need more Colin Ferguson in my life. Okay, so acting.
Who'd you cast?
Okay, so I've got for Agent Byron Howard. I couldn't decide, so I have two: Samuel L. Jackson or Morgan Freeman.
Jesus.
If I want to go with the crazy shit, I got Samuel Jackson.
Pretty clearly gone with the crazy shit.
And then, but if I want to go with the likable, funny, but also mentoring and nurturing Morgan Freeman, and we get to hear that voice, a couple, times a season.
For Howard, I'll pick Richard Roundtree.
Okay, well, that's just plain dirty because Shaft, the original Shaft, is one of my favorites of all time. So.
Yeah, older Richard Roundtree, like from Brick or Heroes, kind of older guy.
It could be. Like I said, I could live with that, but come on, man, Sam L. Jackson.
Well, you're.
Hey, yeah. I had no limits on this. I want to.
Yours is like the Mad Magazine version of it.
It probably is.
Okay. Alfred, what's his name? What's the
Alfred E. Newman?
Yeah, Alfred E. Newman plays fucking Duke or something.
Well, shit. But now when I tell you who I cast for William. Oh
God. All right, who's the William?
Bill Burr.
You picked Bill Burr for William?
Hey, he's got the Boston accent already. Yeah.
Who would I cast as William? Who I'll cast as William? I'll cast Skeet Ulrich as William.
Believe it or not, he was my second choice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can.
But I figured if we got Skeet, it would end up being canceled immediately.
Hey, he's been on Riverdale for a while. He's Jughead's dad.
Well, the minute I start watching it,
it'll get canceled.
It'll get canceled. I guarantee you. Skeet just breaks my heart. Miracles. I got more.
Your sis. All right. What do you have another casting?
Yeah. So Lorraine, the dispatcher. It's only a voice part, but I had two. I was deciding between T-Pain and Stephen Hawking.
Wow. I don't know which one. I was gonna say the girl from the Warriors, who's the radio.
That would be good. That would be good.
But I don't know her name.
But since it's Canada. Why
is T-Pain Canadian?
No. I'll just say we could probably change it to Drake.
I was like, yeah, we'd have to go with Drake, but then
I think Drake. Yeah, Weeknd could do some of the theme music for us. So.
I take it back for William. Sorry to take it back for William. I take back Skeet Ulrich. He's a whatever. I'm taking back Skeet Ulrich. We don't want to get the show canceled. I'll pick James Van Der Beek, 2020 James Van Der Beek.
Wow. Yeah. I'm taking Bill Burr. I'm taking. I have just turned Haven into an Emmy.
I'm telling you, this is the Alfred E. Newman version of fucking Haven.
I got guest stars too, who I insist on.
Here we go. Okay, yeah. Who do you insist?
No. These aren't bad. These aren't.
The Stay Puft or the Michelin Man.
There's two serious ones. Okay. I mean, Willem Dafoe. I love Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe as the Rev could be great.
Willem Dafoe probably would be the best Rev. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I love Willem Dafoe. Big fan of his. Timothy Oliphant. He has to be on there.
Yeah, for the we got more Deadwood. I was thought about mining more Deadwood characters. Okay.
Apparently, I went way too ridiculous with my list.
So if we're giving an award out for our cast, I think. Do you get the Razzie? For best cast?
Get the Razzie. Get the fuck out of here. Get the Razzie. Shit, this is gold. What I came up with. This would.
Yours is like the MTV Teen Choice Award version.
it'd be hilarious comedic television, as you know, and based on. But if you were based on, if you had to look at my list and your list and see who actually it would be feasible, yeah, your list would probably be way. You know, your list probably isn't all that feasible, but it'd be way more feasible than my list. So I'll give that to you, but mine's the more dynamic.
I mean, so just imagine Sarah Silverman delivering a baby in a lighthouse while Jim Caviezel tries to, walk Clive Owen through aging to death. It's really the Sarah Silverman part that's imagine Sarah Silverman trying on dresses while Dave Attell and fucking Joe Morton are
yes, I want to see that.
I
need that. That's awesome. And then when we get down the line and then we get Billy Burr in there. And,
imagine Sarah Silverman.
Billy Burr's like, hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, and fucking Walken as the chief.
I still
like 24
it.
hours to find this bear to fucking Sarah Silverman. I just don't know. I think you get the Razzie, dude.
Well, I mean, if you ask me honestly, I think Emily Rose is perfectly cast.
Yeah,
and
we love the cast, obviously.
I mean, Eric Balfour is perfect for Duke, and Lucas Bryant is perfect for Nathan. I mean, I actually like the guys. I forget their names that played Dave and Vincent. They're very good. Rest in peace to the actor who played Dave.
We'll see what the listeners think. Tell us who gets the, I don't know, what are our two choices? The Saturn fucking Choice Award, the Sprint Mobile Fan Favorite, or the Golden, who gets the Golden Razzie for their cast? We'll just say that.
I've got some serious actors in there to balance things out. Joe Morton,
Jack Nicholson.
Clive Owen, Jack Nicholson. Yeah, he can be funny when he needs. Rev's not funny very often, so if I had no restrictions, I'd want to watch this. It would be a different show than the original Haven. I'd probably want to rename it and change the city, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, this one takes place in like Florida, dude. But okay. I think we've sufficiently casted. That's the end of our version 1 of our fantasy draft. Maybe, like I said, in season 5, we'll do a redo and see kind of our perspectives have changed, see what we think.
Well, yeah, there'll be some people with stock rising, stock slipping.
But that's it for episode 6. We'll return to the town beneath the town in 1 more week. The quickest way to reach us is by email. You can contact us at troubledrewatchpod@gmail.com. Once again, you can find us on a multitude of services where you listen to your podcasts, like Apple, Google, Podbean, SoundCloud, Stitcher. We'll also have the podcast up on YouTube if that's all available. That's all that's available to you with no video, unfortunately. We'd certainly appreciate a review or a like, and for you to hit the subscribe button, because that helps us a lot. If you want the podcast straight from the source, you can visit us at troubledpodcast.com. We'll have all our episodes, news, and the like all in one place for you. And if you want to follow us on Twitter for updates, you can follow us at Havens Troubled. That's a capital H and a capital T for updates via tweets. Last but not least, if you like what we've been doing so far, we are on Patreon. Just search for Troubled or Return to Haven, or look in the show notes. We'll have all those kind of links and information for you there. We're doing exclusive episodes over there called Troubled with Extra Syrup. The first episode we did was coverage on The Colorado Kid, a novella that inspired Haven by Stephen King. We don't know. Maybe there'll be a shirt, maybe a poster with this crazy-ass cast on it. We'll make posters with each version of the crew.
I don't think we legally could afford that, but...
Sure. If the patrons are paying $5 a month, I think we can handle the lawsuits. Whatever. And if you guys want to see extra content that you want us to provide, lay it on us. We're always excited for listener feedback, even if it's just to tell us that we're fucking terrible and should never be in casting.
Well, I want to thank everyone for taking a journey back with us to Haven this week, and we really appreciate you listening, and hope you come back next week as well. And please remember, never let your troubles get you down.